Attention seniors. If a police officer pulls you over or approaches you and starts asking certain questions, what you say in those next few seconds could land you in serious legal trouble, even if you've done absolutely nothing wrong. There are 5 specific questions that police are trained to ask that sound innocent, but are designed to get you to incriminate yourself. And you have the constitutional right to refuse to answer every single one of them. According to civil rights attorneys, you do not need to answer questions about where you've been or where you're going, and you can exercise your right to remain silent. The primary question to remember is, am I free to leave? If the answer is no, your next question should be, may I speak to an attorney? I'm retired police officer James Martinez, and I spent 28 years in law enforcement, and today I'm going to reveal exactly which 5 questions you should never answer, why police ask them even though they know you don't have to respond, how answering these questions has gotten innocent seniors arrested, and most importantly, the exact words to say that protect your rights without making the situation worse. So stay with me until the end, because I'll also share the one critical mistake that 90% of seniors make during traffic stops that cops use against them in court. And if you're watching right now, please hit like so YouTube shows this to other seniors who need to protect their rights, and comment below. Have you ever felt pressured by a police officer to answer questions during a traffic stop? Why one wrong answer can destroy your life. If you answer these questions without knowing your rights, you could find yourself arrested, charged with crimes you didn't commit, or giving police the exact evidence they need to build a case against you. Many people mistakenly believe that staying quiet is the same as exercising their Fifth Amendment right, but that's not the case. If you just refuse to answer a police question without clearly stating your rights, your silence could be used as evidence of guilt in court. That's why it's crucial to clearly state that you are invoking your right to remain silent, which prevents your silence from being held against you. The stakes are particularly high for seniors because of new driving rules that started in 2025. Department of Transportation rolled out new national policies for drivers aged 70 and above, and doctors, family members, and even law enforcement can now flag potentially unsafe drivers for reevaluation. This means that anything you say during a traffic stop about your health, your destination, or your activities can be used to question your fitness to drive, potentially triggering a mandatory assessment that could cost you your license. One wrong answer about where you're going, whether you've been drinking, or how you're feeling can lead to field sobriety tests, breathalyzer demands, vehicle searches, or immediate license suspension. Even if you're completely innocent and sober, the wrong words can make you look guilty, and recovering from that initial impression is nearly impossible. Your freedom, your driver's license, and your reputation all depend on knowing exactly what to say and what not to say. Question number 1 you should never answer: where are you coming from or going? The first question police ask that you should never answer is, where are you coming from? Or where are you headed? This sounds like casual conversation, like the officer is just being friendly and making small talk while they check your license. But according to traffic stop rights experts, what many drivers don't realize is that you're not legally obligated to answer these questions. Common questions include, where are you coming from or where are you headed? And the Fifth Amendment protects your right to remain silent during police encounters. Here's why police ask this question. They're looking for inconsistencies, building probable cause, and gathering information about your activities. If you say you're coming from a bar, restaurant, or social event, they now have reason to suspect you might be impaired. If you say you're going to or from certain neighborhoods, they might suspect drug activity. If you hesitate or your answer doesn't match what they see in your car, they use that as justification to extend the stop and investigate further. One civil rights attorney in Denver explained, officers are trained to use casual conversation to gather incriminating details. Even answering seemingly innocent questions like, where are you coming from tonight, can lead to trouble if you've been at a location serving alcohol. Let me give you a real example. A 68-year-old man was pulled over for a minor traffic violation. The officer asked where he was coming from. He honestly answered that he'd been at his grandson's birthday party at a restaurant. The officer asked if alcohol was served. He said yes, there was beer and wine, but he only had 1 glass of wine 3 hours ago. That admission gave the officer grounds to conduct field sobriety tests. The man was nervous, failed the balance test because he has arthritis in his knees, and was arrested for DUI. His blood test later showed he was well under the legal limit, but he'd already spent a night in jail, paid thousands in legal fees, and had his license suspended for months. Question number 2 you should never answer. Have you been drinking? The second question you should absolutely never answer is, have you been drinking tonight? Or how many drinks have you had? This question is a trap with no good answer. If you say yes, you've just admitted to potentially driving under the influence, and the officer will immediately begin a DUI investigation. If you say no, and the officer smells anything that might be alcohol or sees any sign you're impaired, they'll accuse you of lying, which gives them even more reason to arrest you. Legal experts are clear about your rights here. While you must provide identification and registration, you are not required to answer questions about where you are going, what you have been doing, or how many drinks you had. Officers are trained to use casual conversation to gather incriminating details, and anything you say can potentially be used to build a case against you. Here's what happens when you answer this question. If you admit to even one drink, the officer will conduct field sobriety tests. If you say you had 2 drinks but only weigh 120 pounds, that might put you over the legal limit. If you say you had 1 drink but it was actually a large margarita with multiple shots of liquor, the officer will argue you misrepresented how much you drank. The correct response when asked about drinking is to politely state, "I'm respectfully exercising my right to remain silent." Declining to answer questions isn't being uncooperative. It's exercising a constitutional right. Remember that anything you say can potentially be used to build a case against you. If an officer already has grounds to cite or arrest you, talking won't change that fact. If they don't, your answers might inadvertently provide the evidence they need. The reality is that officers know you have the right to refuse this question, but they ask anyway because most people, especially seniors who were raised to respect authority, will answer honestly without realizing they're giving away their legal protections. Question number 3 you should never answer. Do you know why I pulled you over? Question number 3 that you should never answer is, do you know why I pulled you over? This question seems like the officer is giving you a chance to be honest and cooperative, but it's actually designed to make you confess to violations you might not have even committed. Criminal defense lawyers call this the admission trap. If you say, "Was I speeding?" You've just admitted to speeding, even if that's not why the officer stopped you. If you say, "I know my taillight is out," you've admitted to a violation the officer might not have even noticed. If you say, "I don't know," the officer can use that to suggest you're not paying attention to your driving, which supports arguments about impairment or distraction. According to traffic rights experts, if the officer doesn't volunteer information when approaching your vehicle, you can politely ask, "May I ask what traffic violation you observed?" This question serves 2 purposes. It establishes that you're aware of your rights, and it creates a record of the officer's stated reason, which can be important if the justification changes later. But you should never answer the question of whether you know why you were stopped. In my years in law enforcement, I watched countless drivers talk themselves into citations or arrests with this one question. An officer pulls someone over for a broken taillight, but hasn't decided whether to give a warning or a ticket. Then the driver says, "I'm sorry, officer. I know I was going a little fast back there." Now the officer has 2 violations instead of 1, and the driver confessed to the more serious one. Always remember that you have the right to remain silent beyond providing your driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance. You can invoke your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent regarding other inquiries about your activities, whereabouts, or involvement in potential crimes. Question number 4 you should never answer. Can I search your vehicle? Question number 4 is, do you mind if I search your vehicle? Or can I take a look in your trunk? This question is perhaps the most important one to refuse because consenting to a search waives your Fourth Amendment rights against unreasonable searches and seizures. Legal experts are absolutely clear on this point. Unless the officer has probable cause or a warrant, you have the right to refuse a search of your vehicle. Politely assert your right to privacy and ask if you are free to leave. Consenting to a search can waive your Fourth Amendment rights. Here's what many seniors don't understand. If an officer asks permission to search, it means they don't have legal grounds to search without your consent. If they had probable cause, they wouldn't be asking for permission. They just search. The fact that they're asking means your consent is the only thing standing between your privacy and an invasive search. What officers rarely volunteer is that you have the right to clearly and calmly refuse consent to search. A simple officer, "I do not consent to searches," is sufficient. Refusing consent cannot be held against you legally, though it may extend the duration of the stop if the officer then seeks a warrant. Why is this so important? Because even innocent items in your car can be misinterpreted or used as evidence. That prescription medication bottle without the label, the officer might suspect illegal drugs. That pocket knife you use for camping, in some jurisdictions, it could be considered a concealed weapon. That cash you withdrew to pay a contractor, police might suspect drug money and seize it through civil asset forfeiture. I've seen seniors lose thousands of dollars in their vehicles because they consented to a search and had something completely legal that an officer decided looked suspicious. One 72-year-old woman traveling with $8,000 in cash to buy a used car from a private seller lost every penny because she let police search and they claimed the cash was drug-related, even though she had bank withdrawal receipts. It took her 2 years and $5,000 in legal fees to get her money back. Question number 5 you should never answer. Can I see your phone? Question number 5 is increasingly common and incredibly dangerous. Can I unlock your phone, or can I see what's on your phone? In today's digital age, your smartphone contains an incredible amount of personal information. It is essential that you know your rights during a police traffic stop because the police might ask you to unlock your phone. You are not required to comply with this request. Law enforcement officers cannot legally demand to view your phone's contents, including photos, videos, texts, or call logs, without a warrant. Your phone contains your entire digital life. Your text messages, emails, photos, banking apps, location history, search history, and social media accounts are all on that device. Giving police access to your phone without a warrant is giving them access to information they could never legally obtain otherwise. Here's why police ask for your phone. They're looking for evidence of texting while driving. They want to see if your GPS or maps show you were coming from somewhere you claimed you weren't. They're hoping to find incriminating photos or messages, or they want to scroll through your contacts and call logs looking for connections to criminal activity. The correct response is crystal clear. I do not consent to any searches of my phone. You don't need to explain, justify, or make excuses. Just clearly state you're refusing consent. Courts have repeatedly held that police need a warrant to search a phone, and that includes asking you to unlock it for them. Some police might pressure you by saying, "If you have nothing to hide, why won't you show me?" This is a manipulation tactic. The Fourth Amendment exists specifically so that you don't have to prove your innocence by surrendering your privacy. Your refusal to consent cannot be used as evidence of guilt. Don't fall for these pressure tactics, especially as a senior who might feel intimidated by authority figures. The magic phrases that protect your rights. And let me give you the exact phrases you need to memorize that will protect your rights during any police encounter. These phrases are legally tested, attorney approved, and designed to assert your rights without escalating the situation. First, when asked any question beyond identification, say, "I'm respectfully exercising my right to remain silent." This phrase does 3 things. It clearly invokes your Fifth Amendment right. It cannot be used against you in court because you've explicitly stated you're exercising a constitutional right, and it's polite enough that it doesn't anger the officer. Second, if the officer persists in questioning you, add, "I do not wish to answer any questions without my attorney present." Once you invoke your right to an attorney, police questioning must stop. However, if you continue talking after invoking this right, the police can use any information you divulge against you. That's why after you say this, you must actually remain silent. Stop talking completely. Third, if asked to consent to a search, say, "I do not consent to any searches." Then ask, "Am I being detained or am I free to go?" This forces the officer to make a legal decision. If you're being detained, they must have reasonable suspicion of a crime. If you're not being detained, you're free to leave. Once the purpose of the stop is complete, such as issuing a citation for the original violation, The detention should end. You aren't required to stick around for additional questioning or investigation unrelated to the reason the officer stopped you. Courts have ruled that unnecessarily prolonging traffic stops without reasonable suspicion is unconstitutional. Fourth, if recording the encounter, state clearly, "I am recording this interaction for my safety and yours." Federal courts have ruled that people have a First Amendment right to record police officers carrying out their duties in public. Use an app or phone settings to automatically upload the recordings to a cloud drive in case your phone is seized. One experienced civil rights lawyer advised, "You might as well lie like a possum. Be as still as possible, as non-confrontational. Don't threaten verbally. Don't be self-righteous. If you wish to remain silent, make it clear, because it's often your word against the cops, and recordings make these cases much better." What to do if your rights are violated and final advice. If a police officer violates your rights during a traffic stop, here's exactly what to do to protect yourself and build a case. First, do not resist or argue at the scene. Even if the officer is completely wrong, arguing or resisting will only make your situation worse and could lead to additional charges. Stay calm, remain polite, and clearly state your rights, but ultimately comply with lawful orders even if you disagree. One criminal defense attorney explained, "Knowing your rights during a traffic stop is one thing, but what happens when those rights are violated? What if your polite refusal to answer questions leads to intimidation tactics, or your declined search turns into an illegal one? The answer is that you protect yourself with documentation and legal action afterward, not confrontation during the stop. Second, document everything immediately after the encounter. Write down the officer's name and badge number, the date, time, and exact location of the stop, everything that was said by both you and the officer, whether you were recording and where that recording is stored, the names and contact information of any witnesses, and any physical evidence like the citation or written warning. Third, if you believe your rights were violated, file complaints with multiple agencies. File with the police department's Internal Affairs Division. Submit a complaint to your state's Attorney General office. Contact the ACLU or other civil rights organizations in your area, and consult with a criminal defense attorney who specializes in police misconduct. A skilled California criminal defense lawyer can help by reviewing the circumstances of the stop, challenging unlawful searches or arrests, and building a strong defense to protect your freedom, record, and future opportunities. An attorney assesses rights violations by reviewing police reports, body camera footage, witness statements, and dashcam videos. They examine whether officers had reasonable suspicion for the initial stop, followed proper procedures, respected your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, and conducted any searches legally. Finally, here's my most important advice after 28 years in law enforcement. Many people believe that invoking the right to remain silent makes them appear guilty. However, exercising this right is a legal protection and does not imply guilt. In fact, attempting to explain or justify your actions without legal counsel can inadvertently provide law enforcement with information that may be used against you. As a senior, you might feel extra pressure to cooperate because you were raised to respect police and authority figures. But understand that modern policing has changed dramatically. Officers are trained to gather evidence and build cases, and they will use your own words against you even if you are completely innocent. Your politeness and honesty will not protect you if your words can be twisted into evidence. Know your rights, use the phrases I've given you, stay calm and respectful, but never give up your constitutional protections just because someone in a uniform asks you to.